Hello and welcome. My name is Harry. His name is Ben. As always, he's joining me on Hoopinions, episode 41. I have simply named it The Universe Will Never Be the Same. Ben, you have no idea what has happened.
I was just sitting in traffic on the way back from work. I hadn't had a chance to look, and you just messaged me like, "Have you heard the news?" I'm like, "What news?" And then you're like, don't look at it. We got to get a live reaction to this bad boy. So I've been waiting here. I want to know, man.
So I had the same thing, right? I'm driving home and my fantasy chat starts going off. And I could see on my notifications, it tells me how many, it gives me a number on how many messages. Yep. Once it got to 20 messages, I was like, okay, something's happened here. Because,
something big.
Usually we have little, my fantasy chat's pretty chill. We get maybe a little discussion every so often. But for it to go bzz, bzz, bzz on the way home, I was like, what in the hell has happened? So, Mr. Benjamin.
Oh, yep.
I would like to officially announce that Kevin freaking Durant is no longer a Brooklyn Net.
Okay, I had a feeling that it was a trade thing, but I was not expecting that. More importantly, where is he? Where is he now?
I will accept. Where do you think he's gone?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, this
is putting me on the spot. All right. Well, we did hear kind of the top destinations before included Phoenix, so maybe they definitely need some help. Man, I don't know. I don't want to put too many guesses there because there's so many things it could be. I don't know.
Kevin Durantula. Sorry, if you know, you know. I'll have to explain that joke another time. Kevin Durantula is now a Sun. So
he's a Sun. Okay.
Kevin Durant and TJ Warren have been traded to the Suns.
Wow.
In return, the Nets receive Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder.
He's back now, apparently.
4 first-round picks, unprotected, in 2023, 2025, 2027, and 2029.
Okay.
And a 2028 pick swap. Give me this. You have not seen this. Yeah. I've kept you away from the news. I've been an absolute bastard of a person. I've been like, oh my God, everything has changed. And I've refused to let you know what it is. You can now open the notes.
Damn. Okay. Well, this is my raw, unfiltered reaction. No planning. Okay, first of all, I think that's probably the right call. I mean, if they're going to move Kyrie, well, he kind of wanted to move himself, then it's probably the best call. KD, still currently injured. Probably could try and drag the team, but I think it would be a futile effort. I think he hasn't got the support he needs. So fair enough, move him. As for where he's gone, yeah, I think that's a good move. It's somewhere he mentioned. It's some team that needs some support because clearly they're not.
How are you so calm?
I'm trying to keep professional.
Ben, this is game changing.
This is pretty huge.
The Suns kept DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
They kept CP3. And they kept Booker.
Okay. I think that's the most surprising thing for me is that they got an all-star starter player and gave up none of their stars. I mean,
pennies on the dollar, my friend.
I mean, look, Michael Bridges is an important part of the roster, but he plays at small forward. That's where KD can potentially play anyway. So it's not the biggest loss for them. So effectively, they gave away not much. A fair number of picks.
Look, they've mortgaged their future.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like the Nets did in 2014, wherever it was. It's kind of like a lot of these teams have been doing. Give away all the picks for a big, big move.
But this is this is Kevin freaking Durant.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of a kind, so...
Freaking with a capital F.
You don't get many players like KD of that caliber. There's a reason why there was so much hype off season, whether he was going to move somewhere, because there's only one KD in the league. There aren't any guys who do what he does. So, all right, yeah. I'm on the hype train now. I'm on the hype train.
This changes everything.
Yeah. I just think the fact that they've still got kind of Aiton's borderline, but 3 all-star players already, add KD into the mix, that's a pretty scary starting lineup.
It also, for me, it's the West are insane.
Yeah.
This has got to be one of the tightest Wests I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, KD was in the East for a short time. He was in the West for a long time before that, and now he's come back. So the West is now even more stacked. That's scary to look at.
I do not words are just sort of in my brain right now.
I think my first question for you, I'm going to fire back at you, is where do you think the Suns are headed after this trade? How quickly are they moving up? Are they staying where they are? What's the move?
Well, for the moment, we have to take into account that Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are injured at the moment.
Very true. Yep.
CP3 has come back and has looked pretty good. Honestly, I think we mentioned once that we thought CP3 was slowing down, but after a break and being injury-free, he's looking a lot better. Maybe he just needed a break. I'm not sure. So I think the Suns are heading up.
Yeah. I think, like you said, the current injuries are obviously a factor. Still no Booker, KD still injured. So, it's probably not going to be an instant rise. But, now that Paul's getting back into his groove, there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think it's going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah. I think by the playoff time, when we come to playoff time, because obviously the Suns currently sitting in, 5th currently? So
yes.
Not even playing off contention right now.
So the thing is, though, is that they don't, as long as they're top 6, I don't think you need to sweat it.
Yeah.
As much as home court advantage is helpful, and it sort of is a big thing in playoffs, but if you've got the best team, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you have Kevin freaking Durant, and while this does change everything, by no means is this a given for the Phoenix Suns. It's not over. The West is still incredibly tight. Yeah,
it's not a locked in thing, but I'm just thinking when they get to the playoffs, because we've seen them obviously make it to the finals with the previous team that they had with their core of CP3 Booker. We saw them make it to the finals. Last playoffs not quite as good. Is it pretty much a trip to the finals that we're expecting now with the addition of KD?
You have to. I think you have. Well, the only thing is they've got an out. Here's the thing, right? KD has 3 years left on his deal now? 4 years? 3? Yeah, 3.5?
Extension, so yeah.
So they pretty much have the core of Booker, CP3, Ayton, and KD locked in for the next 3 years, 3 to 4 years.
Ayton also got the extension too, so...
Yeah, Ayton was extended. CP3 extended for another 2 years. I'm pretty sure they put Book on the Supermax a year or two ago. So they essentially have this core group locked in for the next couple of years, which is a huge window.
So it's not like they have to win this season. They've got a couple of years to potentially get this together.
A little bit of time, but not much.
Yeah.
This year will really depend on how many games can they win now that they've lost Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and Jay Crowder, which, let's be real, Jay Crowder wasn't doing much for them.
That's true.
And can they hold... It's almost can they hold on until Booker and Durant are healthy?
Yeah. I think that's the question at this point. I reckon they've had a few cold streaks, but I think probably with Chris Paul back, they can at least maintain where they're at. I don't think I can see them moving up rapidly at all, but I don't think I can see them dropping crazily either. So he can just kind of man the helm, keep him at least in playoff contention, maybe even play-ins if they have to.
There's 3 teams on 8.5 wins behind. Dallas, Phoenix, and LA are all on the same.
It is very, very close, to be fair.
It's insanely close. So I think for them, their main goal is to just stay out of the play-ins.
Yeah. Yeah, because honestly, teams 4 through 10 are pretty much separated by 3 games. So it is still really neck and neck.
Race to the end.
Oh, it's going to be a close one.
I'm just, wow. It happened.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised, mostly just because of the time frame. I think if it was a longer time frame, I'd be like, they would have had plenty of time to line this trade up. But how quickly it happened, I'm surprised. That's why it's such a shock to me.
Apparently, KD requested it.
Okay.
And...
reasonable.
It's a KD request, but then the Phoenix Suns have a new owner.
Okay.
That has pushed... that the moment he heard that KD wanted in, pushed very hard. So a dude called, which if Kevin Durant was available, as if you wouldn't try to get the deal done. But so a man by the name of Matt Abisha.
Okay.
I don't know who. I think he played college basketball, and he owns a huge mortgage financial company in the States. he bought a 57% stake from Robert Sarver for $2.28 billion dues.
Pretty crazy.
Woo! But the rumor is that he pushed very hard to have that, because I believe it's nighttime, because we're in Australia, folks. So there's a bit of a time difference, but I believe that we're in the evening of American time as we're recording this.
Yeah.
So the rumor was that Matt Abisha pushed very hard to try and get this finalized that evening.
Yeah.
He's pretty much had the team for, I think, since this morning, or officially since this morning or yesterday.
Just all day working.
And he was pretty much just like, make this happen. A lot of talk about trying to make improvements around the Phoenix Suns facility.
And I guess you want to come in and make an impact. I think that's what he's trying to do.
Especially with all the terrible things that allegedly Robert Sarver was doing and behaving. So it's
not hard to really be a better improvement to the last guy.
So but he pushed it through, and I think it's, having 4 unprotected, that's huge. I can't remember all of like the AD trade off the top of my head, or the one to the Clippers, Paul George. I can't remember how many unprotected picks, but I think we've pretty much maxed out at about 4 unprotecteds for a superstar. I don't know if, can you really go much higher? I don't know if you can go that far ahead.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure there's some limit in terms of how many you can give away in terms of future.
There's 100% a limit to how far ahead you can go.
Yeah.
There's only so far that you can go before they're like, no. It's to stop teams giving away like 10 years of their picks.
But even the number they gave away, the all unprotected first rounds, like that is pretty much giving away the future. So but we'll see. It honestly could pay off.
The future is now. They've got Book.
I mean, look, now is the time. It's the right call.
And I think it's interesting. Book's done his time. Like the Phoenix Suns were not good for many years.
Yeah, he was just hanging in there while they were being pretty garbage.
But I would almost say I don't want to say he's coming into his prime now, but he's pretty much like peak Book. At this stage, he's been in the league, like 4 or 5 years now?
Oh, I think it's actually been almost longer.
Or is he on his second? Is he on his second contract, or is he on his third?
He's one of those guys that I always just feel like hasn't been there that long, but he has for quite a while.
But I thought
he's on his seventh year.
So he's on his 3rd contract cycle.
Probably, yep.
Yeah. Because we've done a 7th year. No, yeah. He's on his rookie, he's on his extension, and he's extended on the extension.
True.
Which, respect to him for staying where Phoenix gave him a shot.
Some trust in the organization to get it together and build around him. So
because he could have gone away on his, a lot of stars leave on their third contract.
That's true.
So he stayed. He's trusted the organization, and the organization's come through.
Yeah, I'm excited because look, the Suns haven't had the best
injury luck.
They've had some bad luck with injuries. They haven't had the best luck in terms of like playoffs as well. Like they've had some strong teams, obviously Barkley era, things like that. But I like teams that haven't got a stack of rings coming in really challenging for that ring. So
I think this team is like, look, Kevin Durant is the icing on the cake, but this team has sort of been built up. They weren't really handed anything. People thought that CP3 was a wash when they got him, and
that's true.
Then Chris Paul was like, "Hey, watch me."
He's still got miles
watch
left
me
on his I just have a really quick thought that I have thought about now. So Kyrie caused all the drama, leaves the Nets, goes to Dallas, who are currently in 6th. KD has now gone to the Suns in 5th. They're now in the same conference again.
Yep.
They're going to be fighting each other for that last kind of like play-in spot. That's juicy. Sorry, playoff spot rather. That's juicy. I want to see these guys absolutely just duking it out at the moment.
That'd be crazy.
It's kind of that revenge. Can you imagine if it came down to like the last game?
Those two dueling it out.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So some good narratives right now in the West. That's juicy.
I think it's also ironic that Jay Crowder sat. And pretty much, I wouldn't say he tanked his value, but he tanked his value.
Yeah, he didn't do himself any favors.
He could have been he could have been coming off the bench for the Phoenix Suns into a starter role when everyone got hurt. Yeah. Proved that he's a top player. That could have led to him getting traded to a contender.
That's actually so true.
Or he was on a contender. Why would you sit when you've just come from the finals?
Yeah, complaining about not getting minutes or starting, and then when there's a chance to get minutes and start, doesn't take it. Like that's just stupid.
And now, and I think, and this is where the irony comes in. Now he's getting traded to the Nets, who are very, very clearly in rebuild mode.
Yeah. Yep. So now he might get some minutes, but they're not going to be worth anything. So.
He's getting sent to Tank Commander Simmons, who
oh my goodness,
objectively now might be the worst contract in the league.
Yeah, I think he'd have to be.
The other day, he played 29 minutes. Do you know how many points he scored?
Well, he's got 2 points, right?
Yep.
50% shooting, 1 from 2. Man, that's...
Jesus.
Wild.
I'd almost rather Bertans over him.
Oh, yeah, I'd take Bertans over him, to be
I'd
honest.
probably take Russ over him too.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
So,
But that's an interesting point, too, now, is that the Nets... Look, this is the crazy thing. The Nets are in 5th. They're currently in a playoff position. They're not even play-ins. They're playoff position, but they've gone full rebuild. Is this, like, the best team that we've ever seen just suddenly go into rebuild mode?
Imploded.
I mean, I guess it happens when you built around 2 stars and then one of them goes now the second's gone. But
it's just imploded. They couldn't keep it together, and I think it just got to the point where it must have been untenable, and they were just like, it's done.
Pretty much.
We can't make this work, which is just crazy because they've still got good players.
Yeah, they honestly were looking really, really strong. It's crazy how quickly it turned around because they went on a crazy hot streak. To be fair, KD was healthy, but they were looking so strong. All the question marks kind of like, okay, right, Nets have got it together, and now it's gone. So, how the tables turn.
It's wild. I don't know what's going to happen to the Nets.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for Miami, the Knicks, the Hawks, the Bulls, all these guys to make a push.
Has the trade deadline happened now? When is the trade deadline?
Gosh, it's hard to tell based on Australian time, but I think today was... Don't quote me on that.
Because is there enough? Because like that's the thing, right? You've still got decent players. You might be able to still make the play-ins.
Yeah.
But if you have time, do you just blow it up? Because you've got pieces that people will give assets for.
Yeah.
You could try and recoup some of your losses. Like obviously KD is going to help, but you could there's definitely a market for Curry. There's definitely a market for Patty Mills. There's
Dinwiddie, who's now been in the Curry trade. Yeah.
Do you give away Claxton? Like, how hard of a rebuild?
He's shown a lot of promise. So
how much of a rebuild are you doing? How much are you holding on to? Can you get rid of Ben Simmons? Can you just fire him?
There must be some clause or something performance based.
I think you just have to pay him out, but you could just fire him.
I mean, look, I think the biggest questions for the Nets now are, what do you do with Simmons? And then secondly, do you keep the young core and make that your future? Or do you just keep going in on picks? Obviously, they're not going to get Wembanyama this year. It's too late to tank that hard.
No.
Well, maybe.
Or if they lost everything, they could easily they could drop pretty quickly.
Yeah, maybe not quite low enough, but look, you're right. Look, they still got Claxton. They still got some younger guys who, if they hold on to, let them get some better minutes.
Clax daddy. Yeah,
I mean, look, they have some young core. Obviously, with tons of picks that they've now got from Phoenix. Look, there's potential.
They got picks for Kyrie, didn't they?
I'm pretty sure they traded. They got 2 picks or something.
He's at the bottom.
Sorry, they got 3 picks technically because they got 2 first rounders and a second rounder.
Yeah, so not a bad. It's most of these picks are like in 5 years' time, so they've still got a little bit of a bit of time before these picks come into play.
That is true.
So we'll have to see. So here we were. We spent all day looking at everything that was going on, and we thought this was going to be an episode centered around Russ, the Lakers, the Timberwolves, and the Jazz.
And then we get this absolute bombshell. So
so let's go into what we thought we were going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
Which is the Los Angeles. So I'll just go what everyone receives. So there's a three team trade. The Los Angeles Lakers received D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt.
Yep.
The Utah Jazz receive Russell Westbrook, and there's rumors that they will buy him out. And apparently the Clippers are interested.
Interesting. Goes back to LA.
I haven't really watched a lot of Clippers, but is John Wall not working out?
He's playing okay. Like, he's not his old self, but I think he's at least contributing.
Serviceable?
Not an all-star level.
Or is this like a Russ thing because Russ just wants to stay in LA with his family? Who knows? Anyway,
could be.
We'll have to see. I'm not sure if it's mutual or if it's Russ putting that out or if the Clippers are putting that out. But apparently the Jazz are thinking about a buyout. The Jazz also have got Toscano Anderson, Damian Jones, and the Lakers 2027 first-round pick protected 1-4.
Yep.
The Minnesota Timberwolves get Mike Conley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and 3 second-round picks. And I don't know exactly what this means, but 2024 lesser of Washington, Memphis, 2025 and 2026.
I think out of those 2 teams, whoever has the lowest pick, they will get the lower one.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, honestly, I don't mind this move. I think it's kind of a win all round. Sort of. So let's break it down. So first of all, the Lakers, I think that they get a good deal out of this. I think they get off pretty lightly for their Westbrook experiment. They get D'Angelo Russell, who hasn't been super consistent this season, but certainly has scoring potential.
It's something.
It's something, exactly. I think it's an improvement over Westbrook at this point.
Overall, has the Lakers gone from a play-in team to a not play-in team? No. They're still going to struggle to make the play-ins, in my opinion. I don't think these three are good role players, but they're not on the level for me that they're going to change. It's not really a huge needle changer.
Yeah, like Vanderbilt's been pretty good for the Jazz this season, so yeah, I think they've got good pieces, but it's not going to be an absolute game changer. They're probably going to be looking pretty similar. But at least they've moved Westbrook, which that experiment hasn't really worked.
I'm really annoyed. I don't think the Lakers deserve to get bailed out.
Yeah, they kind of went all in on that. It's almost like you made your bed, now you got to lie in it.
And then people just like, oh yeah, let me give you stuff, so we'll take your crappy contract. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise they managed to pull this off, but I think, look, for the Jazz, who are kind of, meant to be tanking, and rebuilding, and the Timberwolves, who are struggling a bit as well, I think they were probably just willing to honestly give things a try. So
tell me about Toscano Anderson and Damian Jones, because was Toscano Anderson on the Warriors a year or two ago, and then he was on the championship winning ones, and then he got the bag and left.
So he was on the Warriors last season. This is his first season with the Lakers. He looked really good. Obviously, when the Warriors had injuries, he stepped in. But I think when Poole really took off, then he had fewer minutes. So he's still got some, I think, improving to do.
But it was a very solid bench piece for them. Enough that he couldn't stay with he got offered more money than what Golden State could. And is that the same with Damian Jones? Was he on? Was that different?
I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure he's like a forward / center. It's really hard to tell, but he's definitely a role player. So.
Yeah. So, I just want to say that I think this is I don't want to say it's a huge L for the Utah Jazz, but I think this is a really, really weak excuse to take on Russ's contract.
Yeah.
The fact, they got a first round pick, but it's protected.
Yeah. So, I mean, the highest they can get with it is 5th in the draft. And it's 2027 as well. It just doesn't seem like the Jazz...
The Lakers are going to be sucked by then.
Yeah.
The Lakers are going all in to get these last year or two with LeBron. And so 2027 is when they're going to suck.
Yeah. I mean, look, with protected picks, if you don't get it, I'm pretty sure you get the next year as long as it's eligible. But yeah, look, for the Jazz, it's a weird move because they definitely haven't got better from this trade, which is kind of what they want because they're meant to be tanking, but they also haven't got many picks. They haven't got much value long-term either.
Get much from this.
It's a bit of a nothing trade or even like a downgrade, so I'm a bit surprised.
Look, Toscano Anderson is decent, so maybe they thought he'd be a good pairing with...
But I mean, honestly, JTA and Damian Jones for Malik Beasley and Vanderbilt, it's kind of like almost the same swap. They've got a guard and a forward for a guard and a forward. It's kind of the same. Really, they've just got Westbrook out of this, who probably isn't even going to play. I'd love to see him play for the Jazz. To be fair, that would be absolutely hilarious. I don't know how he'd find Utah. Look, I'm a Utah fan, so no shade, but I can't see that working.
I love the rivalry from OKC and Utah back in the day.
Yeah,
there was some very, very insane games there.
So it'd be pretty weird seeing Westbrook on the Jazz. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Like for look, everything that's come out is that the Jazz have no intention of playing him, and Russ has no intention of doing anything. But I'd love to see him just play a couple of games.
Yeah, I'd honestly just take 1 or 2 games just for the memes.
Just once. I just want to see him in the uniform.
Just see him try and get a triple-double, yeah.
That'd be so good. And Minnesota receive, as we've mentioned, Mike Conley, which we'll touch on him in just a moment. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who...
look, he's been in the season for a few years now.
I don't want to be disrespectful.
Young guard, he's starting to improve. He's kind of like a... How do I put this? He's like an SGA light, very light. Okay, mostly just because of the hyphenated surname, really.
So young guard, who did
he's actually related to SGA. So
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Where did he come from?
I'm pretty sure. Oh, don't quote me on this. Well, he was with maybe the Clippers for a bit.
So who traded him? Did the Jazz trade him, or did LA trade him?
No, I'm pretty sure he was on the Jazz.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing here is that Minnesota have gone for 2 guards. So if Conley sucks. They've kind of gone. Conley might be too old, so we've got a young guy that's a backup just in case.
I mean, kinda. I think the big thing for the Timberwolves is that Russell wasn't really working, as in D'Angelo Russell.
Yes.
Him and Cat was a fun pairing for a while, but he's just not efficient enough.
But he just hasn't. I don't think they're looking for a scorer.
No, that's the
They've
thing.
got scorers. They need a
Anthony
player.
Edwards is just a walking bucket. So yeah,
You've got Cat, and then you've got Gobert. Gobert needs to be passed the ball in the right situation.
And who has been passing him the ball a fair bit is Conley.
Conley used to pass him the ball in the Jazz.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. Conley's a pass first point guard. So I think that does work better with the team who are mostly offense minded. And I'm a Conley stan. I liked him since the Grizzlies era. So he's getting a bit older though, to be fair, but I think he still has value. So
maybe he can look. I think that possibly Mike Conley in this trade for the Minnesota Timberwolves has been overvalued slightly.
I would agree with that. I think he has, yeah.
But I think at the when you're at this stage with the Timberwolves, when you look at the moves they're making, they're at the stage right where Cat's re-signed, but Cat's gone. You need to make this work.
Yeah.
If you want to keep me, you have to make this work.
Yeah.
So that's where the Gobert trade came from. The Minnesota Timberwolves are making moves to basically keep their star happy, which is, look, they've got to go all in at this stage.
Yeah.
If they've got no one else good they've got two great players. This is the time to try and make money moves. And D'Angelo Russell wasn't moving the needle.
Yeah, I think that's fair. They're at least making moves. Probably not the most efficient moves.
But you've got to remember that people don't want to go to Minnesota.
Yeah, it's tough to get any trades there, so they might as well just get who they can.
People don't want to go to Minnesota unless you're giving the other organizations huge amount of assets. Yeah. It's the only way you get people.
It's part of the small market teams, really.
It's a small market struggle. Yeah. I think, look, overall, while they probably overpaid, but then they overpaid for Gobert. So it's kind of what you have to do as a Minnesotan. Yeah. So obviously, as we've mentioned, Mike Conley, older, but he's still a great pass first. I guess maybe the hope is that Mike Conley can pass on, like, sort of mentor Alexander Walker. Maybe they can mold him into an efficient guard that has good passing ability. Yeah,
that's fair. I mean, that's the thing with the veteran presence as well. It does kind of rub off on the other players too, so some of the young guards there can at least benefit from that.
How long has Alexander Walker been with the Jazz?
This is his first season, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I think he came over in all those big moves.
Yeah, okay, so he hasn't actually played with Gobert, but that's okay. But Conley and Gobert have played together, so maybe that will help unleash Gobert a little bit. And then, you've got the wires with the young. Hopefully, those would probably be your two main guards, potentially, that even you play them as a combo. They've been playing together in Utah, so there's a lot of... I'm still... Look, is this team going to win a championship? Maybe. I don't want to close this. At the moment, with everything, anything's possible.
Technically, anything's possible. Yeah, and I wouldn't lean towards them being a yes, but I wouldn't technically say they're a no.
Look, I would say, on paper, this Minnesota Timberwolves team is, for the West, on the top half.
Yeah, top half. Yeah.
Just. But I on paper. Because I still don't think this team has reached its full potential.
No, I don't think they have either. I think that's a fair point.
Cat's coming in and out of being injured. Obviously, I don't think they've fully unlocked Gobert and how to work. You have to schematic differently when you have Gobert on your team. But I don't think he's I still think on the defensive end he's fantastic. You just have, and I think he is serviceable on the offensive end. But you have to get him the ball at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah, very situational in terms of the game plan to make it work, but it can work.
And I still maintain that, look at Chicago, the Twin Towers works. I don't know if I can call it that, but gosh, the two bigs in today's NBA is achievable. Yeah. Especially when one of the bigs can shoot.
Yeah. Cleveland did a great job with that as well. It's
technically central. Cleveland did the triple towers, and then they went into the double. We'll call it double towers. That might be better.
Yeah.
Double towers. But it's still working, and and we've mentioned how much we love teams that do alternative strategies.
Yeah, I like to keep it juicy.
So, 100%, I think this team hasn't hit its potential.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see if this trade pans out. And
I'm really interested. Obviously, they have to get all healthy. Los Angeles, screw you. I hope you fail.
Not biased at all. Look, honestly, I hope that D'Lo just gets some buckets. I think. Yeah, it's a homecoming for him too, which is kind of cool because he did start his career there, so it's kind of funny he's come back now. No idea
how to make him into something, so he went somewhere else. Now he's coming back.
Yeah, and that's not the first time that's happened in this trade deadline.
Oh my goodness!
Dinwiddie,
this just screams of LeBron being like, "Please, someone,
just
help
anyone,
me, anyone. I want to win." And Russ is here going like, "I'm just here having fun. It's so good." And LeBron's just like, Please get rid of him. We're not here to fun. We're here to win.
Speaking of LeBron, I think we have to quickly mention, obviously it's been in the news headlines everywhere, the new all-time scoring leader in the NBA.
Whoop, whoop.
Look, and we've talked a lot of shade about the Lakers. We've talked a bit of shade about him, giving him props where it's due. But I just want to quickly say, like, watching that, I was hype. I was so hype. Look, it's not often you get to see a record of that level be broken, and we got to witness it. So that's pretty cool.
Congratulations. What's the dude's name he overtook? It's Kareem
Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah.
He wrote a really nice article on his website. That he put it really nicely in the words.
He's a very eloquent man, Kareem.
He's a really aware man. And look, it's great. LeBron's a superstar. It cannot be denied that LeBron is a superstar. His longevity is everyone knows who LeBron James is. He's one of the longest tenured players that's playing it. Not longest tenured, but longest tenured playing at such a high level.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me is reflecting on this is him as a scorer, because look, he does everything, and I think that almost diminishes his scoring because he's like all-rounded. When I think of the best scorers in the league, I think like KD and stuff like that. But I need to remember to keep putting LeBron up there because people say he hasn't got a signature move. He
does it all.
He doesn't have a bag. But yeah, it's just because he kind of does a bit of everything really, really well. He's honestly his fadeaway, that shot he hit to break the record is kind of a signature shot. I think he just doesn't get the respect offensively that he should. So
well, I guess it's also like his offense has changed so much. Like when he first came in the league, he was such an explosive, very paint-based sort of offense.
That's true.
And as he's gotten older, he has very artfully sort of taken on more three-point shooting, more mid-range. He could still slam it down when he needs to, but to keep his body lasting, he has had to change it up.
That's fair.
But it's the only way that you could reach this record.
Yeah.
I'll leave out the discussions about how it's easier to score points in the modern NBA. At the end of the day, he's been in this league for an insane amount of time, playing at an insane level, and honestly, this record might be, at least for our lifetimes, unbeatable.
Yeah, I honestly think it will be because he hasn't just broken it. He's still going to be going for a number of years. And I think, yes, part of it is how long he's played. That obviously helps to break a record like that. But it's not like he's been playing the last few seasons at like only 15, 20 points a game to try and just squeeze a record. He's still been dropping like high 20s, almost 30 points. And who knows how many more seasons he's going to do that for. So I think it's going to be untouchable for quite a while. It's the classic Luka, when they interviewed him, it's like, oh, do you reckon you can like get the record? Because Luka's a walking bucket too. And he's like, nah, bro, I'm not going to be playing that long. Yeah. Because like, yes, longevity is part of it, but like keeping at that level for that long, it's wild.
Insane.
It's wild. So shout out LeBron.
Absolutely.
Respect on that name.
Look, we're very critical of the Lakers and LeBron, but I think that also comes with the territory when you're when you're the star, when you're the face of the league, when you've been playing for so long, when there's so many expectations, it comes with the smoke.
When your team's in 13th, then I mean, it's warranted some of the shades.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
There have been other trades that have been happening as well. And actually, everyone was saying, I thought it was really funny. Everyone was going into this deadline being like, yeah, nothing's going to happen. It's going to be boring. It's going to be the boringest deadline of the last couple of years. And I would say that this is shut off.
Yeah, it got spicy right at the end. So
do you want to talk to me about the Toronto and San Antonio Spurs?
Yeah.
Mainly because I don't know how to say Jacob's last name.
Jakob Poeltl. Famous from the Wordle, but the basketball version, Jakob Poeltl.
How the hell is that Poeltl?
I'm pretty sure Polish or something like that.
Oh, because there's no R.
It might not be.
There's a T in that, bro.
It's Poeltl.
I know I might be dyslexic, but come on, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he's definitely European descent. So the Toronto Raptors received Jakob Poeltl from the Spurs. Spurs in return receive Kem Birch. They also get protected 2024 first round pick and 2 future second round picks. Smaller move, but I think it's a good move. Poeltl, obviously, look, he's not like an absolute star, but he's a serviceable center, starting big. Yeah.
Would you say he's like probably not being? I don't want to say being wasted, but is it worth holding on to him? How young is he, or is he like?
He's been in the league for a little while now, so I think the Spurs obviously are in a full rebuild. Potentially could be looking at Wembanyama, so they need to clear some room for a big. and
also I think it's just like if he's in the middle of his career, it's like it's better to give him a chance at someone that Toronto is still trying to be competitive.
Well, that's the thing exactly. In terms of Toronto's end, they're hanging in that like play-in area right now. they want just a couple more pieces to get them to stay in there, at least make the playoffs. So yeah, look, I think it's a smaller move, but I think it's a good move because the Raptors kind of just held down now at the moment by like Freddie, by Siakam, OG as well. So
give Jacob a chance to actually play for someone that's trying to get wins instead of being, wasting a year or two.
100%. I think Coach Nurse can definitely get the most out of him too.
Absolutely.
Lucky him getting coached by Pop and now Nick Nurse. So yeah,
probably the best two coaches in the league.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised that Pop is still going. I thought he was going to retire.
You'd think that he wouldn't want to be the tank commander, but props to him. He's still absolutely killing. So
good on him.
Yeah.
Tell me, so there's a couple of, I think there's another juicy one coming up, but we'll quickly run through. Tell me Portland and the Knicks.
All right. So you gave me the nice, really tricky names to say, but
yes.
We've got the Portland Trailblazers receiving Ryan Arcidiacono. I'm pretty sure I got that right.
Yep.
And then Svi Mihailuk. Russian names are hard, or Ukrainian even. And then Cam Reddish and protected future first round pick. New York Knicks receive, nice and easy, Josh Hart.
We've been through this. Pronunciation isn't my strong suit, so I'm throwing it over to you.
But look, I think this is a good move. Look, Josh Hart still has a lot of potential. Honestly, Portland it looked like they were really, really tanking. We didn't know what was going to happen when they moved CJ. I thought with that trade to get Josh Hart, he'd be kind of like maybe their new shooting guard.
Because they made a big move for Josh Hart from the Pelicans, right?
Well, yeah, that was part of the McCollum trade. So they end up getting him and a few other pieces. So I think Larry Nance as well.
Interesting that they move on Josh Hart. But then I guess they got New York. The Knicks have valued Josh Hart quite highly.
Because, I mean, honestly, that's like 3 players and a first-round pick for, just Josh Hart. So, I mean, look, props. I think he's got potential. I think the Knicks at this point, they're also kind of that, like, borderline at the moment, play-ins, maybe playoff if they're lucky. I mean, they've got All-Star Randall, they've got Brogdon at the helm. So, yeah, I think a good move.
Another team that didn't really want to put up with Cam Reddish.
Yeah. That's true, actually.
Interesting. He didn't last long at New York. The Hawks got rid of him.
Move. I wonder if that's very very telling, perhaps, about what he's like on the. I don't know. Don't want to be throwing out any shade without any sources, but it does look sus.
Well, I'll suggest it.
Put on the border predictions.
That's 2 teams he's been in the same season.
Yeah, and he's got moved very quickly. So
New York didn't put up with him very long. I think it's interesting that the Knicks are getting another, because Josh Hart's a guard, right?
Yeah.
Another guard.
Shooting guard, small forward, yeah.
Oh, shooting guard, small forward. Okay, so that fits in with Brunson. So they've kind of got like the Brunson, Josh Hart with Thingamabob, with Randall.
And So, I think
maybe
it's
the Knicks have some idea of what they're doing. Sometimes.
Yeah, potentially. Not famous for the best moves, but I mean, look, they're so far seems to be doing well. Brunson trade went well, so
yeah. So it's not a huge needle mover. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
So what else have we got? And then there's a lot of nothing moves, like the Kings received Kessler Edwards and cash considerations. Nets got draft rights to David
Minisho. I think when you see a trade with cash considerations in it, you know that it's pretty low value trades. No offense.
Draft rights. Who is David?
Honestly, I don't even know, to be quite honest.
Some college kid.
Yeah.
Or something that the Kings have rights to.
Or is a two-way player or something,
Yeah. Just give us a name so that it's kind of equal. And then the Spurs took on Dedmon?
Dwayne Dedmon, who, just real quick,
is that the really old guy that's been on the Heat team forever and was like part of their culture?
He's been.
Is that the angry dude?
That's Haslam that's been on the Heat forever. Dedmon's been on the Heat for a little while. He's also played on like the Hawks and things like that. But yeah, Dedmon. He recently, I think it was early in the season, had a moment where he like threw one of those like massage guns or whatever, like threw it on the court. He like stormed off. Yeah. Honestly, I thought he was undervalued previously because he's a decent rebounding big, but yeah, maybe a little bit of attitude problem. So we'll see if Pop can get him in line on the Spurs. But yeah, another smaller move.
Miami literally took cash.
Yeah, they're like,
for him.
Like, please just pay us some money and you can have him.
And I don't know if we mentioned this, but the Boston Celtics got a 2024 top 55 protected second round pick. Which, what's the point?
Top 55 protected. I don't think I've actually seen that before. So pretty much a guaranteed bottom 5, like 56 through to 60. Kind of crazy.
What's the point?
Yeah, but the Spurs receive Noah Vonleh. I guess another...
Who dat?
He's been in the league a few years now. Hasn't really kind of hit his potential, I don't think. But yeah, the Spurs are getting bigs to kind of just fill in the void where Pirtle left, I suppose, when he's going. So, but yeah, they're really loading up on the bigs.
So basically, Boston paid Antonio to take this guy.
More or less.
Maybe they won the roster spot for someone, or they're trying to free up a little bit of space with the money.
Yeah. A lot of these moves, I think, are kind of salary based. I think when it's getting
housekeeping.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we've talked about Hachimura and Washington, and we've obviously talked about the Nets and the Dallas getting Kyrie. So look, the East is spreading out a little bit, and I think we're sort of getting like our top. You know, I think it will be between Celtics, Bucks, 76ers, and Cavs.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I'd agree with that.
Is the top four. The West, though, is honestly, honest to God, it's
still anyone's game.
Probably like 9th and up. I don't rate Portland that high, but I rate pretty much everyone else as a viable chance. Honestly.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Each team is one really bad injury away from having a terrible run.
Yeah, I think I do have one big prediction that isn't almost a prediction. I think it's just going to happen. I think Denver finishes first. I think that's pretty much a lock. They're the only one who's actually got a bit of a gap now, 4.5 games ahead of the Grizzlies.
A little bit of gap. Let's see.
And look, anything can happen, but I can see them just kind of cruising to the end of the season in first, to be quite honest.
They're playing well. The injuries are doing okay. It's honestly, for the West, it's going to be whoever is the least injured.
Yeah, just pretty much stay healthy at this point.
Least injured and least tired.
Yeah, because we've seen Luka go out a couple times. Obviously Booker's still out.
Is Luka still out?
I'm pretty sure he's not back yet. I might be wrong, but he hasn't been like in practice.
No, he's out.
So yeah, he's still out. And yeah, even like the Pelicans missing Zion, like a lot of these teams that are sitting around that like play-in playoff area, it's just gonna come down to health, really. I still think Pelicans thankfully have bounced back a tiny bit from their atrocious 10-loss streak, but they're still not safe. Utah's somehow still hanging in there. I don't know how.
Jesus,
I don't know.
I've got on here that Zion will be reevaluated after the All-Star break.
Okay.
So, look, at this stage where there's a bit of a break, you might as well not rush him back. Take as much get him healthy. Yeah. Give him as much time as he needs. Hopefully, it's not something. It's a little bit of previous years where like they're like, oh, it's not that bad, but then he just never comes back. So hopefully, it's not that. Yeah. I'd really want to see Zion in a playoff game, but we'll just have to see. We've got a couple of minutes left. I want to chat completely without notes. Did you hear about the Ja Morant altercation?
Which one?
Which one? So I believe that I think they were at the Kings Arena. They were at no, it's Detroit. It might have been Detroit. Okay. Anyway, Ja had been drawing with one of the Detroit assistant coaches, right? And apparently, on the way out of the arena, someone from Ja's squad. Now it's unconfirmed what it was, but apparently, okay. Let me try and tell you.
Allegedly, so far.
Allegedly, there was a laser pointed from one of Ja's boys at the Detroit team when they were sort of in like a loading dock or like behind at the back of like the parking area of the arena.
Okay.
There was an investigation that led to that person being banned for a year. Okay. Then Ja goes on Twitter and basically says it was all baloney and that they investigated. Basically, put attention on the issue.
Right, okay.
When he should have just kept his mouth shut. Kyrie had just gotten traded. So the fact that people were still talking about the Ja incident, he should just shut his mouth. He doesn't have a PR guy, obviously. The issue is that Ja is trying to act a bit hood. And he's got some people that are acting a bit hood around him. And the implication, it might have been a laser. The implication is that he's got shooters with him. And I'm not talking about basketball shooters.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And so this is the core problem. Ja is constantly getting in trouble. People from his retinue have threatened people over Twitter already. This man's a millionaire. Why is he trying to act like he's gangster from the hood when he's already hit the lottery?
I mean, I think it's part of the culture. I think a lot of not all guys, but a lot of guys want to like play like a thug on the court and dominate, but then also off the court, kind of have
he's
that
acting
like
tough.
Yeah,
and that's with
toughness.
A TUFF.
Yeah,
because
yeah. Have you seen? I don't know if you've seen this as well, but what was it? Someone did like a remix, pretty much like diss track on Ja, because he came from like a private school. He's like pretty much had like a nice suburban family upbringing. Like he's not hood at all in his background.
What? I didn't even know that. I hadn't even looked that up. I've just seen.
Look, I'm not really like hip with the kids, but yeah, it was pretty funny. And look, I like Ja. I like Ja as a player and as a guy. He's done some really cool things recently. One of the fans, the girl had that signed thing stolen, and he went and gave all the stuff to. So he's a good guy, but it is also weird that he's kind of got this like real thug personality. You see it sometimes in games, you see it off the court too, but it has nothing to back it up.
Is he surrounding himself with the wrong people?
Potentially, and I think that happens a lot. You get these guys who have got the wrong crowd, and people actually start pointing it out. And I think if it gets to the point where like his teammates or his coaches or whatever mention something,
Maybe.
then we know it. Then we know it's bad.
It's just there's been like this has been the first like main thing, but there have been a lot of little background instances with Ja and his team, his squad, that has started like Ja's trying harder and harder to kind of look like this thug life. Thug life, like it's him trying to act tough and gangster and ordering. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna order hits, but like he's got some people around him that are acting the fool.
Yeah.
And when you're worth that much money and there's this much potential money on the table, cut it out, bro.
Yeah, like when you're one of the stars in the league, it's like pretty unnecessary. Like just follow the lead of a lot of the other top guys who like play absolutely like menaces, but off the court they're chill. They do all the right things.
Or just keep it out of the news.
Yeah,
if you want
at the very least,
do it in your mansion on your own. Don't actually get drawn into things, because that's when you're gonna get sued. That's when you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Like there's a lot of little things going on, but if it keeps going this way, it's just gonna keep escalating. And
you get a reputation.
I was reading some of the comments, and like the way this could escalate. Honestly, like I'm a little bit concerned for Ja and the Grizzlies. Honestly, if it keeps going the way it's going, and just with Ja's general demeanor at the moment, with like all this smack talk and the general attitude, it also like the way he responds to things, like he hasn't got a PR person, you can't tell him he's wrong. I'm just concerned that it'll get to a point where like you can't manage him, and then he's going to do something rash that he won't be able to get out of.
I mean, on court you get fouls, but in the real world you get fined or jailed. So like
exactly.
You don't want to see it go that way.
There's only so much you can get away with, and if he's got boys running around him, you don't want to get RICO'd. Yeah.
And you don't want him to end up being like Gilbert Arenas and bring a gun into the locker room or anything like that. So.
What a great way.
I almost said Glocker room, which would be pretty funny.
Glock, yeah.
But yeah, so look, I think when you're that level of athlete, you probably do have people kind of telling you what you should be doing. So hopefully there'll be some positive influence, but yeah, I think we'll see. There's
you don't want to get RICO'd. You don't want to get do you know what RICO?
I'm not hood enough.
Sorry, racketeering.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, like if you're the mafia boss and you tell someone else to kill someone, you can get done as well. It's called a RICO charge.
I don't know if it's going to get to that level. But
that's the very worst case scenario. But if you get anywhere close to RICO charges, the FBI are not messing around.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's an incredibly high conviction rate for RICO. They only pull that out of the bag if they're 100% sure they've got you.
Yeah, there's Grizzlies grit and grind, and then there's just like unnecessary hood level. So yeah, there's a difference.
So let's see what happens. I'm obviously jumping a little bit to the worst conclusions, but if it keeps escalating, it's not off the books.
Yeah,
and I hope it doesn't get to that.
Hopefully not.
What do you think of today's trades? I think Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are no longer Nets, which is huge. If you asked me that last week, I would not have been like, what?
Would not have expected that. Absolutely not. But yeah, the West is going to be juicy as all heck. It's going to be good to watch.
So ready for the playoffs. I'm so honestly, I'm excited for this next couple of weeks. It's going to be so crazy.
Yeah. And we've got All-Star coming up too. So looking forward to that as well.
So like, subscribe, give us 5 stars, give us a shout out, tell us what you think.
And listen to the TikTok, look at the TikTok, share it around, give us likes, show some love. We appreciate it. And yeah, stay tuned.
Hell yeah. Thanks guys. We out.
See ya.